Hannah, are you planning on coming out again for another one of our family reunions? You really are quite the stubborn girl, aren't you, considering that you don't even have any connections to the rest of my family?
Good evening, Pam. I am planning on coming out again to your family reunion, but I didn't think that was going to cause such a problem for you.
Well, it will be a huge problem for us here, indeed. You really are going to be getting in all of our ways by showing up yet again, and I'd like to recommend you stay home instead.
Wait, I really don't see how I'm getting in the way.
I've heard that recently you've been complaining about having to work over and over again, and that's why you never make anything for my son to eat. Ken is going to starve because of you. Start feeding my son some more meals soon, or else. Can't you see the whole reason he's coming back home to me all the time is because you never make him any food? He always comes in saying that he hasn't eaten in days, and that you're never home to help make him something after he gets out of work. Seriously, why did he have to end up marrying such a useless woman as you?
I'm sorry, but in my case, I happen to have a lot of work going on and not a lot of time to be home. And so to make sure that things around the house don't go sideways, I ask him to handle some of the chores for me. He should be more than capable of cooking for himself if he needs to, and I am totally fine with him dining out if he doesn't have the time or drive to cook.
Really?
So now do you understand why I haven't always been there to cook for him recently?
I cannot believe any of this.
What?
Making your husband do all the cooking and chores for you? What the hell do you think you're doing to my son? He should be out working a job himself instead of sucking up to a wife like you.
Huh? Well, right now I'm the one working outside the house for the most part.
Well, I've never heard anything about that from him. I'm telling you right now that you forcing him to do all the housework while you go out and play around is what makes you an awful wife. Can't you see you're an embarrassment?
I feel that you coming to talk to me about all of this is not the right choice. I'd recommend you go talk with your son if you have any further things to talk about. Goodbye now.
Ken even said it himself. He's told me that he's starting to think that getting a divorce isn't all too bad of an idea after all.
Excuse me? Is that something Ken has really said about us?
Well, of course it is. If he wasn't saying these things right now, then why would I be lying to you about it? From what it looks like, Ken is starting to become really stressed out by what you've been doing to him. I think he's at his limits now with the way you've been handling things. And I'm sure you're well aware my son can find another wife after you in seconds. After all, you are just an old hag at this point, and he's better off throwing you in the garbage and finding himself a younger and more attractive wife.
So he's really been saying these things? Well, it might also be that you're having delusions about all of that, and he's never said anything close to what you're thinking. I guess I really should go have a chat with him about all of this now. Well, I'm going to ask him later today then what he thinks.
I've already told him about how it's time he leaves you, and that I have your guys' divorce papers all ready to go and everything now. I think the best option for you now is to start looking for a new place to live after he leaves you.
Thank you for the recommendation. I'll think about it.
I'm not joking around anymore. Hurry up and come back here right now. Where did you run off to anyway?
I felt that I was no longer needed in a place like that, so I went ahead and made my way out. Not only were you making jabs at me before today, but when I arrived to see everyone, you started to pick on me even more. But I guess I'm not all too surprised since you've been acting like that towards me for a while now. And this time I just happened to realize I can't take that crap from you anymore.
What's gotten into you? Are you trying to say it's my fault you're leaving now?
Well, aren't you being a terrible mother-in-law to me?
Excuse me?
I was already prepared for you to say some pretty mean things to me today at their reunion. But today you said that everyone would be allowed to eat that Wagyu steak, except for me, who you called a stranger. And then following that, you continued to call me names like a fifth grader would. Well, I'm not going to be your punching bag any longer, Pam.
What's so bad about that? I mean, you are a stranger after all, right? How could any of us ever consider calling you a part of our family? And as of right now, you already know that Ken is going to divorce you, and then you really will be a complete stranger, right?
I know that very well. And I know that you will go as far as it takes to make sure that I'm aware that you don't see me as part of your family. But today was too much for me. I could no longer sit around letting you act that way towards me.
What are you going on about? You're the one that came to our family event uninvited, so can you stop whining about what I said about you? Maybe if you would have just listened to me and never came in the first place, you wouldn't have to be crying like a baby now.
Ah, is that so? So you're going to tell me it's my fault now that you made the atmosphere of the reunion go sour?
That's right. Who else besides you could have caused all that? Today was supposed to be the day my family got together to enjoy one another's company and eat some dang good steak. And since you came uninvited, you're only allowed to eat the fat caps.
I'm going home.
Oh my, you really did let all of this get to you.
Say whatever you'd like about me and what I'm doing. I see there is no further meaning to me being around you today, and that's why I'm heading home. But listen, Pam.
What?
I'm totally fine with us both becoming complete strangers since that's what you want. But know that I won't be the one in trouble after I've gone home. Please don't forget what I've said, okay?
Huh? What the hell are you talking about? I'm so happy right now to see that you'll be out of my hair forever. This is the best day of my life.
Is that really how you feel? Well then, I hope you can continue being that happy when I'm gone. I'm heading home now, so good day to you. And make sure to tell Ken that I'm on my way home now as well, and if he wants to know why I've left, tell him to look at the text I'll be sending him shortly.
And while you're at it, you leave my son and get the hell out of his house for me.
I believe that I will go ahead and do that. Now, goodbye.
Hannah, where are you at right now? I'm sure my son has been trying to call you plenty of times as well right now. Why are you not answering his calls?
I don't see any reason to answer his calls, and I'm on my way back home now.
Huh? So you were being serious when you said you'd be going back home?
I told you a few times that I was heading home, didn't I? That should have meant to you that I was indeed going to head home. And why wouldn't I be heading home after the amount of times you bullied me? You even made it pretty clear to everyone that I was only allowed to have the sides while everyone else got to eat that Wagyu steak. All of that crap from you really got on my nerves and actually made me quite angry.
I don't care about what happened to make you leave. Right now, my husband is pissed off at me, and things aren't looking so good anymore.
And he has the right to be pissed at you.
Huh? So this all really is because of you and what you planned?
I didn't plan anything. You just happened to get on my last nerve and made me angry. I had originally really enjoyed everyone in your family and saw myself as a part of you guys. But today I lost all those feelings and no longer see myself as your daughter-in-law. So, I told your husband and your son that I'd no longer be sending you guys any money and that I'd no longer financially support his business.
Huh? Sending us money? Financially supporting his business?
I'm sure you had no idea about any of this going on, but after having heard about this from me, I'm sure your face has turned ghostly white, right? And I'm sure that with your husband being so upset with you now, the reunion is pretty much over, right? It must look like hell there right now with him cussing and flailing his arms around all over the place.
It sure is hell here. He's been tearing into me in front of literally everyone in the family. If anything, he's making it look as though I'm the one that did something wrong here.
Well, you're not wrong to think that you did, in fact, do something very wrong.
It's all because of my husband getting this mad at me that I've been completely embarrassed in front of the whole family. Why is this all happening to me? What the hell is this about you sending us money? And what kind of financial support have you been giving his company?
You seem to be the only person that never knew a thing about both those things. Even Ken knew about all of this. Yet he let you act like that towards me for some reason, making me second-guess my relationship to him.
What are you talking about, Hannah? Explain all of this to me right now.
Did your husband not explain it all to you yet? When your husband's company was going under, I came in with the help of my company to help him back up.
Huh? His company was going under?
Last year, one of his customers ended up going bankrupt, so his company never received any of the money promised to him by them, and that led to his company going into the red. And it was expected that his company would fall soon after as well because of all that. But thanks to my company and the fact that I bought a lot of shares in his company, he was saved from having to kiss what made his money goodbye. And ever since then, I've been the primary shareholder of his company.
What kind of story is that? This is the first time I'm ever hearing of such a thing happening to him.
Well, based on how my husband never told you anything, I guess it runs in their genes. And had he explained all of this to you, I'm sure you would have never listened, considering the kind of woman you are.
He didn't need you to help him.
Say whatever you think, but had it not been for me, your husband would have lost his company and after that, all his money. And of course, since he's the father of my husband, I decided to continue supporting his company. But after what's happened with me today, I believe that I no longer can afford to hand over any more money to him, and therefore will stop helping his company stay about the water. That's why I told him a little bit ago about everything. And also, I haven't only been supporting his company through money, but through lending equipment to him. But I'm going to need all that back from him now. So just be aware that his company might not be able to operate after the end of this week.
Wait! I get that you keep going on about your guys' work and everything, but I can't understand half of it.
You did know that I have a company of my own, right?
I knew that. I heard that part from everyone already. But a company being run by a female? Really? I was sure that you only ran a small little place for fun to get out of doing the chores. Perhaps you were just running one of those online-only businesses or something, right?
My work is not for play, and I'd never do anything to try and get out of doing chores unless it were making me millions. And as for online-only businesses, you can make a lot of money through them and influence a lot of people. Of course, my business is a lot more than an online business now, as I have offices everywhere, and I am considered larger than your husband.
I never knew that.
Well, that's just how it is, Pam. And now I'm aware that you don't want me in your family anymore. And for some reason, your son, my husband, doesn't seem to care about how you harassed me all these years. So I'm going to leave your family, now that it's very clear to me there's no way of being seen as your daughter-in-law. I have done all I could to help you and your family through your tough times, but I can no longer afford to do all that for any of you. I'm so happy to be a stranger to you all now.
Hold on, Hannah. What do you mean by that?
I'm saying that I'm going to go ahead and divorce your son. And thanks to that advice you gave me before, I've prepared everything for our divorce, including those divorce papers you gave me. So when I get back home, I'm heading right to City Hall with them and handing them in. And that will make us being strangers official. Isn't that just wonderful?
What? You really went ahead and prepared for that? And Ken was okay with all of it?
He happened to care more about what you told him to think of me than about how I was supporting you guys and your husband's company. Such a freaking idiot he is. He started to talk down to me because he saw that you were picking on me. And to be honest, I was thinking of leaving him even before you recommended it to me. So thankfully, I was in the same boat as all of you and got all this prepared just in time.
But then, what's going to happen with you being the primary shareholder for my husband's company?
Huh? Have you not listened to a single thing I've been saying? I'm going to be leaving your son and become a stranger to you all, so I will no longer invest in your husband's company. And I already told that to your husband, hence why he's so upset with you now.
What? So you actually want to go through with stopping all that support?
Why wouldn't I want to? You made it clear to me that you don't need my money anymore. But hey, thank God we can all be complete strangers now, right?
This isn't about you being a stranger to me now. What are we going to do if my husband's company falls back into the red after you pull your money out? He's only going to become even more pissed at me, and the next time I'm sure he'll not go easy on me.
I don't give a flying frick about what happens to all of you.
Huh?
Jesus freaking Christ, are you that selfish about everything? You've been telling me how much you want me to be a stranger, yet now that I'm leaving you and all your family, you're going to start crying that you want me back again. My husband may not have seen it at the time, but the way you guys treated me is now going to really affect your husband. Big time. So don't cry about it to me, because that's all on you.
What do you mean it's all on me? I'm your mother-in-law. You think you can just blame me for all of this?
I sure do. And I am. And so will your husband. Also, you're not even my mother-in-law anymore. So go screw yourself, please. You asked for me to become a stranger to you, and I answered. But now that I've answered, you might have to find out what to do about your husband's soon-to-fail company.
Excuse me? You're a huge jerk for doing something like this to me.
But this is all the fruits to your labors, correct? Go apologize to your husband now for all of this. And hope to God that your apologies will be enough to get him to forgive you.
What am I going to do, Hannah? All of this could be saved if you just came back here and enjoyed this steak with us, right? You know now that I've never meant for things to go this far, right? My husband is seriously going to kill me over this, so please come back.
It's a little bit too late for that, Pam. I'm starting to really feel hungry. So I think I'll go enjoy myself a nice juicy steak on my way home.
You can come back here and have one of the steaks we have. You can have mine and I'll eat something else.
No, thank you. If I came back there and saw your face, I might lose my appetite. Now you go ahead and take care of all your problems yourself, please. You and I are both strangers now, so you shouldn't be asking me to help with your personal troubles anyway. Don't ever talk to me again, okay? And one final thing. This house is under my name, so go tell Ken that he's got nowhere left to go home to now. Well then, you have a wonderful rest of your evening with a husband that wants to kill you and a son that's too stupid to understand what's happened. Even after all that, Pam tried her hardest to come to me asking for help as much as she could. But I had already handed in our divorce papers, and so she was nothing more to me than a complete stranger, as she'd always wanted. And as for her husband being pissed at her, he ended up taking things all the way to court. And there, he forced her to get a divorce from him, and then proceeded to have her kicked out of his house, where she is not left living on the streets. She was also given nothing of his properties due to her having damaged his business with the way she had acted, and so she had nothing to her name besides the clothing on her back and a few other accessories. In Ken's case, I threw all his things out of the house, along with all his furniture, and he ran off to go find his mother before the two of them started to live in a rundown apartment together. He did try one or two times, crying on the front porch to come and get me to let him inside, just a few weeks after the divorce. But I was never home when he was there, and only learned about all this from a neighbor of mine who said they called the police on him since he wouldn't shut up. The rest of the family also cut ties to those two, which has left the both of them still wondering what exactly they did wrong to deserve all of this. Pam's now ex-husband ended up having to sell his company soon after I stopped supporting it, and he sold it to no one other than me, so that I could incorporate it into my company. And he told me in this sale that he was sort of thankful for all that happened, as even he was getting fed up with his son and wife always trying to leech off him. I guess I wasn't the only one that got off okay in the end. And it's really great to hear that he can have a faster start to his retirement now that he doesn't have to support that nasty witch Pam. Allison, the preparations for the wedding should all be completely perfect, right?
Good evening, Melinda. I made sure to get whatever I could done for the wedding. At this point, all there is left to do is wait for the wedding and get excited.
What kind of crap is that you're saying to me?
Huh?
You are supposed to be working until the very last minute to make sure that the wedding is perfect and that there is no chance of anything going south. Have you made sure to think of what'll happen when I come on stage and things like that?
Wait, this is going to be the wedding for Charlotte, right?
That's right. My daughter's wedding. And if you don't make sure that it's 100% perfect for all of us, then you are going to be in some serious trouble.
That's not why I asked that. I asked because I'm a bit confused why you think I have to prepare anything for you to come on stage like it's your wedding. I know that Charlotte is going to be walked onto the stage by her dad at the start, but you're supposed to be sat in your seat the whole time the wedding is taking place, right?
That is not a good enough excuse for me to just sit around all day. I am the mother of the bride, Allison, and that means I'm supposed to be treated like the queen at this wedding.
So that's why you want me to prep for you on stage. Well, I never heard from Charlotte about her having anything planned for you.
If you don't start to think about this wedding and what I'll be doing a bit more seriously, you will really regret ever marrying my son. Do you really want to give up your rights as a young wife in this family? Fix your way of thinking, right now, and then hurry up and get back to work on the wedding. Charlotte and I are too busy to be looking over your back every second of the day.
All right.
I'm sorry, Allison. I wish my mom wouldn't ask you to do such stupid things all the time. I see she's even forced you to start doing those stupid things for her. So if you feel that you shouldn't have to, you could tell her no.
Well, I don't really mind it all that much, Tyler. But I didn't think your mom was supposed to have a moment on stage or anything at the wedding, so I'm not really sure what to do about it.
You can't just overlook what she asked you to do. She's just talking out of her butt like that. And Charlotte's already told me that she wants to make up the plans herself for her wedding. So you really don't have to listen to my mom at all. Because this wedding all comes down to what Charlotte wants. I'm sure if you go tell Charlotte about what my mom's asking from you, she'll be able to tell mom to shut up, and that will be that.
And I did do that by getting a hold of Charlotte and talking with her more about what she wants, but even after talking to her, your mom still thinks she's in control.
We all know that she's been a pain in the butt, and even my dad is getting tired of her attitude. To be honest, after Charlotte gets married, I think things between my mom and dad will begin to fall apart.
What? What do you mean?
My dad is getting really fed up with mom's selfishness, and from what I've heard, even these past few years being married to her have been really tough. So I think that once my sister is married and out of the house, my dad can finally relax a bit and start focusing on himself and moving away from mom. Even I want my dad to break free from my mom's grasp and enjoy his life a bit more.
So that's what's been going on. Well, before any of that can happen, we have to make sure that Charlotte has a great wedding. I'll continue to do my best with making this wedding perfect for her, so that not just Charlotte is happy, but also so that your dad can be happy as well. What's going on, Tyler? I'm currently on the road right now, but just stopped to use the bathroom.
Things are not good right now. My dad has passed out and fallen down badly.
What?
You listen here, Allison. Did you forget that today is the day of my daughter's wedding? You are supposed to be here at 10 a.m. to start getting things ready for the start, yet I haven't found you anywhere yet. How much longer are you planning to keep everyone waiting for you?
What? Melinda? What are you talking about right now?
I am not going to forgive you for being this late to my daughter's wedding. It is the day of my daughter's wedding, and you have a job to do.
Hold on for 1 second, Melinda. Do you have no idea about what's going on right now? How could you not be aware of what's happened? Today the wedding has been canceled to the best of my knowledge, but...
Huh? What the hell did you just say? You really think you're being a good wife to my son in this family? I'm going to strip that title away from you right now! You and Tyler are getting a divorce if it's the last thing I make you both do.
What are you going on about? Why are you getting so upset with me over nothing right now?
I think I have the right to be pissed off at you after canceling on my daughter's wedding without telling anyone. We have all been waiting for over 30 minutes now for you to get here so that we can start the wedding.
I don't think I've done any such thing before the wedding though, Melinda. So before you continue to get more and more flustered with me, take a look around you and tell me what you see.
I'm not going to let you get off easily after not showing up for the beginning of Charlotte's wedding.
Please don't tell me that you actually have no clue what's going on right now. I thought that Tyler already called you telling you about what's happened and explaining to you that the wedding's been canceled.
Why do you keep talking about the wedding being canceled? The only one that's canceled anything is you being here today, and you told nobody a thing about it. You are the worst woman a family could ever ask for. If you don't want me going out of my way to ruin your marriage with my son, you get your butt to this wedding right now!
But everyone is here with me at the funeral home.
Huh?
I think between the two of us, you should be the one getting your butt over here right now if you don't want relations to get any worse between you and your family. It seems to me like you either didn't read or listen to anything Tyler told you yesterday, or you never received anything in the first place. But you do realize what you're doing right now by not being here?
Funeral home? Why are you all there? Did you all get the address confused or something and end up over there?
No, Melinda, the reason we're all here is because your husband passed away.
Huh?
Did you really not know about your husband collapsing yesterday and passing away? You should have been getting calls all day from family in the hospital about your husband's condition.
Well, why would I answer any calls from numbers that I've never seen before? There's no way that he's dead right now. You were just trying to pull some childish prank now, right? My husband is dead? No way in hell is my husband dead right now.
The doctors have said it looks as though he had a heart attack which caused him to pass out. It's already been known for a while that he's had a pretty weak heart, so it makes sense that all the stress recently would cause this.
So all those calls yesterday from Tyler were about my husband having a heart attack. Recently, he had called me warning me about my attitude towards you and all, so I just assumed he was calling me to warn me about that crap again. That's why I ended up muting his calls for the rest of the day yesterday. So, my husband, he's really...
I'm sure that you're in a panic now that you finally learned the truth, but regarding the wedding, it has been canceled and there will be no one showing up to it. So, I did not end up not showing to the wedding today like you think I have. And I never would do something as rude as that, especially since you forced me to do all the preparations for the wedding without getting my take on that decision first.
So the wedding is...
After what happened to your husband yesterday, we had all the family come to the hospital to be there with us. But where were you yesterday evening, Melinda, while everyone was with your husband at the hospital?
Huh? Me? I was just really busy getting any last-minute preparations taken care of before the wedding.
Last-minute preparations, huh? What kind of last-minute preparations are we talking about here?
Hey, I had a lot of beauty treatment appointments that I needed to go to look good for the wedding. It wouldn't be right if the bride's mother looked like a mess on the day of the wedding, right?
So you were out getting ready for things that only mattered to you. Even going as far as to avoid listening to your son, also that you had time to make yourself look good? And that's what led you to being out really late last night with nobody knowing where you were? And when anyone in the family tried calling you, you immediately put them to voicemail?
I didn't get any calls last night.
But you just told me that you ignored all of Tyler's calls and even muted him when you got tired of the ringing, right? I'm sure there were plenty of calls from the hospital as well.
And I told you just a second ago why I didn't answer them. I thought that those were all just spam calls and that it wasn't worth my time answering them.
What about all the calls that came from the rest of your family? Oh, that's right. The rest of your family doesn't really like talking to you anymore and would rather just let you sit in the dark on things. Most of them don't even know your contact information now because you've never told them, and they've never bothered asking.
Excuse me?
Anyway, I know that Tyler tried calling you plenty of times yesterday, but you chose not to answer any of his calls and muted him on purpose. And you've even told me you did all that just now yourself.
So, what is going on with my husband right now? Is he going to be okay?
Huh? Have you not been listening to anything I've said to you today? I told you already that the family and I are all here at the funeral home. Do you not understand how all of us being here right now ties into your husband having a heart attack and passing away?
So if you're all really at a funeral home right now, then he must really be dead. That cannot be possible, right? Right before our daughter's wedding day?
Are you finally coming around to seeing the truth and getting emotional from it? I'm telling you, Melinda, your husband is gone and it all happened to him yesterday. And this was all happening to him last night while you were out having a fun time with his money, getting all the most expensive treatments.
What the hell is this? I didn't know anything about what was going on with him. Why did he think yesterday was the best time to go off and die like that?
The best time? I don't think your husband had a choice in choosing the best time to pass away, Melinda. If anything, he didn't want to pass away the day before his daughter's wedding. I know it must suck to have all your family hate you to the point where they won't even try and get a hold of you about what's happened, but at least Tyler was trying to let you know.
I know that he was trying to call me a lot, but I didn't think he had anything important to say to me, and that's why I ignored him. You can't blame any of this on me, right? It's not my fault. Why didn't you all try harder to get a hold of me when this was going down? You guys could have been sending me texts as well that I could have read later, right?
Tyler told me that he sent you a text. He sent you a message explaining that things weren't going well for his dad and that it was an emergency.
You're right. He did send me a text saying that.
Well, then you really are the only one that can be blamed for not knowing about what happened to your husband yesterday, huh? Today we are planning to have the wake for your husband. And at the moment, we all are working on getting the funeral planned out and prepared for him.
This is all coming to me so fast that I can't fully comprehend it.
I'm sure it is. But this is all the hard reality where you're having to live in, Melinda.
Then what's going to happen to my daughter's wedding?
What?
I've been looking forward to that wedding for a very long time now, and I was so ready for it to happen today. What the hell are we going to do about it? I'm sure that even Charlotte has been waiting a long time for this day to come, right?
Melinda, what the actual hell are you going on about now? Are you even aware that your husband is dead right now and will never be coming back to see any of us again?
I get that he's gone, but I'm talking about the wedding now, which has nothing to do with him dying and that funeral.
Well, Charlotte has taken a lot of time to talk about the wedding with her husband, and they are going to have their wedding on a different date.
What? Oh, that's bullcrap, right? They're going to delay the wedding?
I can understand why someone like you would have a hard time even comprehending this. But Why have you ended up this way? You should know that because of her father passing away only yesterday, she wouldn't want to have a wedding right now. It's been months now that you've been acting so self-centered about this whole wedding, which isn't even yours. The amount of times you've tried making it all about you is good reason for your family to continue hating you and never wanting to be involved in your life.
What are you trying to say, Allison?
I know that all you think about is yourself, and about how to make yourself look even better, never taking a second out of your life to think about your family and what they want. Do you remember how you made sure you were at the center of my wedding when it happened?
I was only at the center of it because I'm a very good-looking woman.
And I do think that at your age, you are a very good-looking woman. But you showed up to my wedding in an all-white dress like that. Nobody told you to wear a white dress that day, and as the bride, I told you explicitly not to wear a white dress. But you did it anyway, and that's what made you steal the spotlight from my husband and I, right?
And this time I made sure to get myself an even better-looking white dress for Charlotte's wedding, but now it's all been a waste of time. I rented this gorgeous-looking dress just for today, and I have to have it returned to the store by tomorrow afternoon. Wait! I can wear it to my husband's funeral today. He was my husband, after all, right? I have to be the one to stand out in an event like that, right?
Did you get dropped on your head a lot as a baby, Melinda?
What did you just say to me? You are my son's wife, so you should never be talking to me like that. You want me to make sure that you never get to call my son your husband ever again?
The only one that's been divorced is you whore.
Huh?
Did you know that right before your husband had that heart attack and passed away, he sent in divorce paperwork asking that you no longer be his wife? He had had enough of the way you acted like a self-centered child around everyone, and his idea was, after the wedding had finished, he would pack his stuff up and get out of the house for good. He made sure to write down everything he thought in a letter addressed to you as well.
You're lying, right? He had the two of us divorced without telling me. Can he really do something like that to us without having my permission as well?
Well, the divorce papers that he turned in were something that you had already planned out and filed in, right? So all I had to do was sign his name on them and take them into the city office to be handled.
But I wasn't planning on going through with any of that just yet, Allison. What the hell did he think he was doing, handing them all in without telling me first?
Well, you were trying to make your daughter's wedding all about yourself, even though she told you time and time again to stop. And on top of that, he also knew about how you would threaten me with divorcing me from Tyler if I didn't do as you asked. So I think he was just tired of being married to a whore that kept on making everything about herself and never giving any thought towards the family. I myself understand why he would divorce you. Heck, I respect that man for making it this long with you after all the crap you've pulled.
Why are you being such a rude witch right now?
Well, it doesn't matter anymore now because he is no longer with us. The husband that looked after you and made sure to take the responsibility for all your selfish behavior is no longer here to help you. He died while you were doing what you always do, and that was thinking about only yourself and no one else. How about you think about how sad that is and start crying a little over what's happened to him?
I am sad about what's happened. The wedding that was supposed to be today has been canceled and moved to a later date.
For Christ's sake! You are such a joke, Melinda!
Well, so be it. I'm going to start heading over to you guys right now. I'll at least be able to put myself on display at that funeral for everyone to see. Go and tell everyone that I'll be arriving at the funeral home very soon, okay? I have to make sure that everyone knows that losing my husband has taken a great toll on me now.
Right now, Tyler is talking with everyone else in the family.
About what?
He's telling them that his dad had already divorced you before he passed away. And at the moment, they were all agreeing that you are nothing more than a complete stranger now and don't have to come to the funeral.
What are you talking about, Alice?
It seems that both Tyler and Charlotte do not want you here getting in the way of their last day being around their father.
And what the hell? I'm his wife, though.
No, you are not, Melinda. You have been divorced by him now, and that makes you nothing more than a stranger to everyone here. And even when you were his wife, everyone here hated you.
Why, though? Why would they all hate me to the point that they don't want me there?
To put it straight, you were a terrible wife for him and an even worse mother to your kids. I'm sorry, Melinda, but I don't think you and I will ever be seeing one another again after this. So I'll be going now.
Wait! Don't throw me away like my husband did, Allison! Please tell me where that funeral home is.
Why the hell would I have a reason to tell you? All I want for you is to regret everything you've done to this family and nothing more. Goodbye now, Melinda. And I hope you have a good rest of your life alone.
In the end, Melinda was never allowed to attend the funeral of her ex-husband and had to live the rest of her life not ever having the chance to see her ex for the last time. And after the funeral had finished, Allison, Tyler, and Charlotte all agreed to let her have the house she was living in, but that she'd never get to see or hear from them all again. When she was finally left alone with nothing more than an empty house, she began to realize that what she'd been doing really was childish and not acceptable for a woman her age. But her being regretful of her poor attitude has come far too late now, right?
Oh, Mom, how have you been doing? This is Julia. Do you remember me still?
Huh? Julia? Didn't you cut ties with me as your mother 3 years ago?
Well, I had done that back then, right? But after giving it all some thought, I think I'm willing to let the two of us get back together again.
But you said that we'd never talk to one another again.
Yeah, I get that I might have said something like that, but I've taken back what I said before and I'm thinking of reconnecting with you, so go ahead and start thanking me.
No, I don't think I will. Why are you even coming back to me right now? You took a lot of my things, and even the wedding ring that your dad gave me before he passed away when you left my house. Did you think that I'd forget about all of that?
Oh, come on now, Mom. You can leave all that happened then in the past. Thinking about those things will do you no good, and they certainly won't help us become family again. And by the way, Mom, if you had gotten remarried, you should have told me that. That's pretty sad of you to keep something so important away from your daughter. Not telling your only daughter a single thing about that.
But we had agreed that we never ever talk to one another again, like you wanted.
And on top of that, I've seen that the man you married is a doctor, right? And to make things even better, he's a very famous doctor that a lot of people travel to be treated, but, right?
Who are you hearing about all of this from?
So, what that means is that you and him have a lot of money now, right? No, you have to, right? He's a famous doctor after all, so there's no way he doesn't have massive amounts of wealth.
What are you wanting to say about him, Julia?
Well, Mom, you had always wanted the two of us to reconnect, right? And I'm sure these past few years have been tough on you since your only child ran away leaving you all alone. So, if you give me $5,000, I'll be willing to let you talk to me again. How does that sound?
Huh?
I'm not asking anything bad, right? I will be asking you to help me with a bunch of other things after that, but for starters, I'm asking that you give me $5,000 in cash.
Wait, what are you saying? Can you explain all of that to me again? Why should I have to pay you $5,000 when you explicitly told me that we would never come around one another again?
I'm asking you to give me $5,000 and then you'll get your very cute daughter back. I knew that you've gotten so old now that it's hard for you to understand things. That's the whole reason you lost me in the first place.
Well, I don't really think I want to reconnect with you, Julia.
Hold on. Are you just trying to act tough now that I'm back? It's alright, Mom. I never meant to do any harm to you back then. I'm telling you, if you pay me that $5,000, I'll come back to you for good. I promise that. But if you take too long to think about this, the price to get me back will steadily keep going up. Starting tomorrow, the price will rise by $10,000 if you don't make the choice right now. So try and be quick here.
After not talking to me for so long, and now asking to get back with me for a price, you think I'll just pay it? Could this mean you're having a really hard time on your own right now?
I'm not talking about my life right now. It has nothing to do with things between you and I getting better. I'm telling you that I'm willing to be kind enough to allow you to start talking to me again, so hurry up and say yes.
What?
And I mean, it's crazy that an ugly old lady like you was able to even find a doctor with all that money to marry him in the first place. Yo, stop trying to avoid me and give me an answer. I'm in a hurry right now.
Do you have a reason for talking to my mom right now?
Huh? Who is this?
So you're that Julia that she's always been talking about. I had a look at what you'd been talking about, and she was right on saying that you're a lost cause of a daughter.
Hey, come on now, who is this?
I bet things have been really rough for Mom in her past having to raise a daughter like you.
Who the hell is this? I'm tired of you being all secretive, so give me your name. Perhaps this is just some random loser?
I am Max, and I'm the son of the doctor that your mom had married. And ever since the both of them have gotten married, I've been living here with her.
Huh, and you think you know her more than me? That's lived with her since I was a baby?
I know that your mom is a very wonderful person. Do you even know why she was able to date my dad?
Why would I care about that stuff?
Your mom had been in very bad shape from how often she was stressed by her situation. And when she came to see my dad to seek help, she had lost around 30 pounds from not eating enough for a whole year.
I told you that I don't care. That has nothing to do with me. Who the hell even are you trying to be? Using my mom's phone to talk to me like you can say anything.
Your mom ended up in the hospital so that she could try and fight her illness. And after getting the right treatment to help her start feeling better again, she fell to my dad's feet thanking him for all of his work. So what do you think?
Come on now, bud.
Your mom had lost her husband in a car accident a while back, right? Well, she didn't want to trouble anyone with the amount of stress and sadness that had all been put on her. And after you left, she was trapped for so long trying to fight her thoughts and save her health. But after she continued to fight back, she finally did something that most people could never do when they get into a deep depressive state, and that was to come looking for help from a specialist. And now I'm hearing that you keep talking down to my strong mother like she hasn't been through enough already?
Yeah. In other words, my mom was able to find the man of her dreams at the hospital. That's so cool. Congrats to her. Amazing woman. Yup. And is that why you're attached to her now? Because I know she has no use for you.
No, I'm with her now to protect her from the lost cause of a daughter that has so much debt that she had to come crawling back to her mother.
Huh? What? Why do you know?
You had married a man after you left your mom. But then he found out that you were cheating on him and then divorced you. But he also found out that you had been stealing his things and selling them to pawn shops for easy cash. And so when the divorce happened, you were stuck with having to pay a massive amount for the settlement and fines that he had asked for.
What? Why?
And now you have such massive debts that need to be paid, and that's why you're crawling back now. You heard from someone that your mom married a doctor, and that gave you the idea that you could come and get money from her again. And that's why you're back here begging for money. You really are pathetic.
Wait, why do you know about all that stuff regarding me?
Because I've made the choice to protect my mom. She would never make an enemy of anyone because she has got the sweetest heart. And I know that you're a danger to her. And when she told me that you were talking to her again, I immediately started to look deeper into you.
What? Who the hell are you? Tell me what you are.
I'm no one special, Julia. I just want to make sure that my mom is safe and away from dangerous people like you. So I'm not letting you get any further with us. Get lost.
Disgusting. If only my dad were here to see this garbage. Well, listen, bud. Let me tell you this. I'm related to that woman by blood and am her actual child. She would love me more than you any day of the week because of that.
You think she would still love you after you cut ties with her and vanished? You are the most useless waste of human being I've ever met.
I'm tired of this, so just hand the phone back to my mom so I can get somewhere with her. If she doesn't help me out soon, I'll make sure some unfortunate things start to happen. She's not going to leave me alone without helping me in some way, so hurry up and give her the dang phone.
Well, before I do that, you pay your mom back for all the things you stole from her.
Huh?
When you had left her house for the last time, you took almost all of your mom's valuable things, right? And the worst part of all of that is you also took her deceased husband's wedding ring from her. You pay her back for all of that stuff now.
Why would I ever pay her back a cent for that stuff? You need to stop talking, bud. What was at that house on the day I left was mine to take, so you don't get to tell me crap.
You poor thing. Until you pay her back for all those things, you're not allowed to talk to her. Do you not see how much you hurt your mom when you took that ring from your late father away from her?
She was with another man now, so it doesn't matter anymore. Why are you so worked up over that?
That's not what all of that means.
Jeez, this is getting so tedious. You're literally the reason why I hate men. I don't even need to be sitting right here listening to all the sewage that spills out of your mouth. All you're doing is being a little baby about things. Guess I'll have to take care of things personally.
Hey, what are you thinking of doing?
Wait, what's going on over here? Who the hell is living in my house?
Julia, what the hell have you gone and done? Your mom sold that house a while back, and right now, someone else is living in there.
Huh? What the? Because of her, the police have been called on me now.
Did you try and sneak into that house?
Well, I thought it was still my family's house, and I couldn't get the front door open because the door was locked, so I broke through the window to get in there. But then an alarm started to go off.
You are such a frickin' idiot.
You're the perfect example of an idiot, so you shut up. I think you need to start realizing all that sooner rather than later.
Are you still laughing about things? What are you planning to tell the police about this?
Oh, I'm not sticking around for them. The moment I heard the sirens coming, I sprinted away from there. But I think there was a camera that saw me. What do you think I should do about this?
I think you should be finished. Stop running from them and let them take you away. That would be best for you now that you've shown all your colors.
Shut up, dude. Why are you still using my mom's phone anyway? Give it back to her.
Hey, Julia? It's your mother.
It's about time that guy gave you back your phone. Mom, are you going to help me or not? I need just a little bit of money. And can you tell the police for me that this is all a misunderstanding? Then you won't even have to hand me the $5,000 and I'll still let you see me.
Julia, I'm going to be very brief about this. I no longer think of you as my daughter.
Huh?
I'm sorry, but I'd like you to stop texting me anymore. You've been gone for 3 years, and I think right now that it was a blessing that you had left me.
Hold on there, Mom. When I cut ties with you, you hated all that, right? Come on, I'm your real daughter, right? That stupid mama's boys of yours over there is nothing more than a waste of time. Are you really going to keep him around?
Do not say anything bad about my Max.
However you try and talk about him, he's an idiot. Who the hell is he anyways? Why does he know so much about me and care so much about you? All he is your new husband's son, right?
No. Max was the man that came and saved me from the car crash that killed your father years ago.
Huh? Hold up. Don't tell me that he was the one that pulled you from the car when that happened and took you to the hospital.
He must have told you a little bit about what happened, right? He was that guy. That's how a lot of things started. He had taken me to the hospital to be treated, but when I heard about your father's death, and then you left me later, I was on a dark path. And so one day, when I was in the darkest places of my mind, I ran back to that hospital, and his dad who became the man that helped me, and would later marry me. And ever since then, Max has always been there for me, because he knew how hard I struggled.
Is that how it all worked out? Well, I never knew any of that. But no matter what he did for you back then, why would you choose to have an idiot like him as your son?
And you think I'd want you to be my daughter when all you do is cause problems and ask for money? I'm sorry, but you have to stop. Do something with your own strength for once in your life.
Hey, what is going on here? Mom, you have never been this kind of person.
And I told you that you had left me for 3 years and I changed a lot.
All right. You don't have to take me back, but you better help me one last time. And then you and I can be done with one another forever. Right now, if I don't get helped, I'll be in huge trouble. Mom, your actual child is panicking right now. Are you not worried about me?
No, Julia. And Julia, the thing you should be doing right now as an adult is not texting me about your problems. You should be explaining what you did to the police, and then you should be paying back every penny you owe to the people whose house you broke into. That's all you have to do. I'm not going to reply to you anymore. Goodbye forever, Julia.
Wait! Hey, hold on, Mom. Reply to me right now. I need your help.
Hey Mom, I'm sorry for doing all of that without your permission. After all you had told me about your daughter, and the news that she was coming back to you, I started looking into what she's been up to.
Don't worry about it, Max, and thank you. But can you tell me how you knew all of that stuff about what she was doing in her past?
Well, apparently she had been going around asking a lot of people about you, and after a little while, the news of her doing that reached my ears as well.
Is that so? I'm sorry for her causing you so much worry.
Why are you saying that? This has nothing to do with you, Mom.
No, the reason for that girl ending up the way she is all because of me. The day that her father had died in that accident and I was brought to the hospital for a while, she was in pain herself, and I had originally planned on going back home to raise her more and care for all her needs. But I think that me being saddened so much myself made her feel even more lonely and like she couldn't look at me the same anymore. And I was hoping that by having my husband's ring, I'd have the strength to carry on with her.
But you can't just blame all that's happened on yourself.
No, I was her mother and I have to be responsible for her actions. I really should have stayed strong and taken better care of her while we both had been in mourning. But I was so far gone in my own sadness that I could never think about her enough to care. And now that's caused her to act out and you were dragged into this mess.
It's all right now, Mom. I choose to do what I did because I wanted to protect you. Mom, what are you going to do about Julia now after everything that's happened?
I'd love to be kind and care for her again, but I think she needs a special kind of help from someone who is more strict and guiding to help her get back on the right path. And I've already decided to not talk to her anymore. I'm sure that she's going to be in a lot of pain for a while now. And it's tough for me knowing that she's in trouble and I'm not there to help her. After all, it's my fault that she's as troubled as she is now.
I see. I understand. Well then, how about we do this, Mom? How about you and I work on making sure that everything goes back to normal from here? You have a new life now, and the past shouldn't be able to haunt you like it has anymore.
After that, Julia ended up giving up and was taken into custody by the police that had chased her. At first, she had tried to ask one person down the street to pretend to be her dad and cover for her, but due to the fact that she was covered in cuts from the broken window, and she was such a maniac, the person slammed the door on her, forcing her to give up. Not only did she break and enter through the window to the person's house, but also damaged some furniture that she had climbed on before turning around and running. And so she ended up having to pay a giant settlement to the owner of that house, and was given a restraining order to never come within 500 feet of that property ever again. She was also charged for running from the police, but that was dropped in court when the judge learned that she was already in pretty deep and had nothing else to offer. And with that, the debt she had already had only grew worse, And so, since she knew there was no way of getting out of the hell she had created on her own, she tried again and again to get a response from me. But I knew that if I gave in to her demands, she never stopped, and so I had to ignore everything she asked for. And after a while of that, Julia gave up on trying to get me to help her and left the city. And at this moment in time, I have no idea where she's at or what she's doing, but I need to start teaching myself to not care about that stuff anymore, like I had been doing before. I am still worried about her, but I know that the only thing I can do is wish that she'll find a way to help herself get better and out of that hell. As for how my life's going, I'm still living with my husband and my son Max, and we're all having a lovely life. I had always known that Max would be there to help me, but after seeing how far he went to protect me from the horrors of my past, I am so happy to have him as a son.